Good evening. I am student meteorologist Allie Ann McCord with your Thursday edition of FSU weather. Right now we do have some stratus clouds over Doak Campbell Stadium right now, and we're going to see some rain from these stratus clouds in the early evening to Friday morning. But currently here in Tallahassee it is a warm 70 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and we have winds coming from the south at 14 miles per hour. Right now we do have some scattered showers up around Graceville, which is in between Dothan and Mariana, but over Tallahassee, really just a little bit of cloud cover, no rain. Tonight here in Tallahassee, we do have a light rain chance, and our temperature is going to be around 66 degrees with winds around 8 miles per hour coming from the northwest. And then for tomorrow in Tallahassee, our temperatures are also going to be around 67, but for our show, we're going to talk about Cyclone Batarasai, a rainy Friday, and cold and warm weekend ahead. Who knows? All this and more on FSU Weather.
The story of the weather is going to be that little old nursery rhyme from when we were kids, rain, rain, go away. Right now over Doak Campbell Stadium, we are cloudy, and those clouds are going to help keep those temperatures very mild for the winter we are currently in. 70 degrees here in Tallahassee, mostly cloudy, as you can see on the camera, with a southerly wind that's going to advect some moisture northward. As we look at our satellite and radar, notice these stratus clouds might be producing a few spicks of rain and some showers as you head up towards Thomasville Road. But the real bulk of the rain and the bulk of the active weather right now is going to be just up Highway 231 across the Alabama border as you pass Mariana. Notice we do have a tornado watch in effect from just southwest of Atlanta at the Alabama-Georgia border down to the Mobile Bay area, and there have been some confirmed tornadoes in here. And then notice we have this big giant mess that I'll get to talk about later on the national. But zooming in on our regional temperatures, Valdosta, you are our hot spot this evening at 76. I'm wondering if there's maybe a little bit less cloud cover there that allowed some more sun to come through, as the graphics are hinting at. But here in Tallahassee down to Apalachicola, we are in your upper 60s and upper 70s. And notice that dew point in Apalachicola is just about what that temperature is, so it is very, very muggy outside. As we head into our wind speed and direction, notice that southerly wind is whipping. We have a lot of moisture being transported up from the Gulf, and that is going to sort of cause this deluge of rain to just push up towards us tomorrow. And tomorrow, if you're heading to class, you are going to need that umbrella. A little bit of some marine fog as we head throughout the day, and then once that main line of rain gets here, it's just going to keep on raining. So your day planner tomorrow, 66. Temperatures aren't going to be bad, so this isn't going to be a cold rain, but it is going to be more of that springtime yuck rain where you have to wear your rain boots and your rain jacket to class. As we take a look at the week ahead, temperatures will remain only in the 70s tomorrow and should drop throughout the day as the rain eventually comes. But as we head later and later into the week, we are going to be drying out and getting a little bit chilly. So as we zoom back in across the state of Florida, I wonder if this pattern is going to persist. Right, Josh?
Right, yes. So we are going to see a bit of that rain come through because of that large frontal system that we're seeing on the southeast map right now. But we're going to take a look at the state of Florida right now. We've got moderate temperatures ranging from the lower 70s up in North Florida down into the central 70s as you make your way south, and a cool 74 on our south end at Key West right now. We do have very muggy dew points right now in the state of Florida because we are going to see a lot of rain move through. That dark brown band, that's the dry air that's going to be moving through our area after that rain comes through tomorrow afternoon. Right now, the state of Florida is clear of rainfall. We do have some scattered showers moving up through South and Central Florida right now, but for the most part, we aren't seeing any organized systems moving through our area. Up here in Tallahassee, we are staying clear, but a bit to our west, that's the rain that we're going to have to keep an eye out for as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at South Florida right now, we have some scattered showers moving across up through Lake Okeechobee right now, but for the most part on the eastern seaboard towards the Miami metropolitan area, they are clear of rain at the moment. Moving north towards Central Florida, we have a bit of those pop-up showers still making their way across the Orlando area, up across the I-4 corridor, but other than that, we are staying clear in Central Florida. Up here in North Florida, the Jacksonville area is dry at the moment. We've got some cloudy conditions across on the seaboard, but other than that, we don't see any rain. And a bit to the west in the Panhandle, here's where the action is going to start popping up. Over here on the west, we are seeing some of those rain bands from that frontal system start moving through Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach area, eventually into Tallahassee. Right now in Miami, we are seeing temperatures for tomorrow and the weekend in the low 80s for our highs, and we're going to see rain-free conditions down in Miami. Over in Tampa, similar story, but we are going to get some cooler temperatures because that front is going to make its way almost into Tampa, so we're going to get down into the mid-60s as our high on Saturday. And over in Orlando, very similar story. We're going to have a high of 87 tomorrow there. Very warm for this type of year, but once that front starts to move through, we are going to see those temperatures cool off a bit. In Jacksonville, here's when temperatures start to decrease even more because of that front. The high there is going to be in the mid-50s this weekend. And over in Pensacola, we are going to see these dry conditions start to move through after that rain tomorrow with cool temperatures with a high of 52 on Saturday. Over the next 24 hours, here comes that rain into the Panhandle region. We're going to see a lot of showers tomorrow afternoon, but those are going to dissipate, and we are going to start seeing some clearer skies move into our area. As for tonight, we've got moderate lows, 64 in Tallahassee, a lot better than those high 20s we saw this past weekend. Making our way south, we do have very similar conditions. Mid to upper 60s will be the lows. And for tomorrow, we are going to see highs pretty hot. 87 will be our hot point in Orlando tomorrow. Over here in the Panhandle region, we are going to see temperatures in the upper 60s. But as for now, Jonathan is going to give us a better look at the southeast.
Yeah, so go ahead and zooming out away from the state of Florida and taking a look across the southeast, you're going to be able to find pretty much every form of precipitation in the southeast this evening, whether it be Gainesville out ahead of this cold front with that stratus deck, Blacksburg, Virginia, where Virginia Tech is located. Notice there's some rain on the camera. Temperatures are a little bit warmer there. And then here in Bowling Green behind me, I think we might be getting some sleet on that camera, and that's going to be really evident in this temperature gradient we have stretched across the region. Notice down here in Florida, as Josh just covered, we are in the 70s. It's kind of unseasonably warm here, but then notice there is a very steep temperature gradient from these warm oranges and reds and yellows to these very cold blues. Little Rock, you're at 29 degrees with rain. I'm willing to bet that is a freezing rain ice situation, and that is what we are going to eventually get to once we get to your alerts. But dew point wise, I'm not really going to pay much attention to that 22 in Little Rock. It is dry air, but that's about what the temperature is, and that's going to mean that we are going to be getting a lot of winter storm. Looking at our winds, this is very interesting. The wind direction shift is a perfect way of identifying the front, as Dr. Fjolberg would say in this case. Notice you have a bunch of southerly wind where that warm air is, and then northerly wind where the cold air is. And where that air starts to meet and change directions, that's going to be where you get some wind shear. So we're getting some severe weather across the southeast this evening. Notice here in the Alabama region, I mentioned earlier that there is a tornado watch stretching from Mobile up to about Auburn, Alabama area. And notice where we get some of these bowing segments, the wind is going to push out in the storm a little bit, and there might be a little bit of rotation. And that's where we got a confirmed tornado just south of Tuscaloosa, Alabama earlier this evening. There is an active tornado warning just to the southeast of Birmingham, between Birmingham and Auburn right now. And so if you are in the southeast, maybe into Dothan later tonight, you need to be paying attention, make sure you have a way to receive warnings. If you're behind this mess in Little Rock, that pink color right there, that is going to be that ice that I mentioned earlier. So significant storm set up across the southeastern U.S. today. Bunch of ice in Memphis and Little Rock this evening, which that's not going to be reflected in our SPC outlooks, but there is a slight risk of severe weather out ahead of that ice storm from Mobile up to Atlanta. And then tomorrow, that is eventually going to push off to the east. Jacksonville, you are only at a marginal risk, and we'll see that risk shape up as that freezing rain pushes up into the Huntsville area, and then this line of storms starts to intensify just a little bit with daytime heating as it approaches Jacksonville into the later hours of tomorrow. Eventually, things will clear out behind it, but as for now, we are just getting slugged with rain, about 1.5 inches to almost 3 inches there just north and west of Dothan as we head into, it's not Tuesday, but as we head into your weekend. Tonight's forecast, temperatures are going to plummet as we head across the region into tomorrow. Notice that blue line just keeps creeping forward and forward. And as we get colder, those wintry forms of precipitation are going to persist. Now, Allie-Ann's going to zoom back into Tallahassee and tell us more about what's happening here.
So currently, we're going to look at these sportsplexes and things around the North Florida area. We do have a lot of clouds around Panama City, but what I really want to talk about is this game Saturday here in the Tuck. We're going to be facing Wake Forest at 12 p.m. with some rainy/sunny conditions, but you might want to bring your umbrella. Hopefully you come back from this dismal loss against Clemson last night. We also have a basketball game away Wednesday in Pittsburgh, and it's going to be a chilly 37 degrees. As for Sunday, we're going to see the pros face off in the Pro Bowl. So the best players of the AFC and NFC facing off to show us what the NFL has to offer. So 68 degrees Sunday in Las Vegas. As for our Stroger forecast, it is a chilly 65 degrees inside Stroger right now. So if you do go study tonight, make sure you bring that jacket and get to grinding on that schoolwork. Tonight's nightlife here in Tallahassee, it is a cloudy 65 with chances of rain after around 3 a.m. Tallahassee shuts down at 2 a.m. So if you're out after that, make sure you do bring that umbrella, your rain jacket. Our viewing conditions right now are not that great, having those clouds moving in from this front. So do not go stargazing tonight, or that's my opinion. If you want to see the stars, you might need to move into an area where we do have clear. As for our weekend planner, we do have rain tomorrow here in Tallahassee. So as you plan for your weekend, make sure to bring your umbrella tomorrow, and then we're going to clear up on Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the mid-50s. But now I'm going to let Jonathan and Josh tell us about the cyclone off the coast of Madagascar. Batsarai, is it?
That's correct, Allie-Ann.
Yeah, so unfortunately we will be soaked with rain tomorrow, but thank goodness it's not a hurricane, right?
Right, no, we will not be seeing nearly the amount of rainfall that they'll be seeing down in Madagascar.
Yeah, and right now you might be thinking, I thought Jonathan and Josh said back in November that hurricane season was over. Well, it is summer in the southern hemisphere.
That's correct. So temperatures are warm there, so they are going to be experiencing the same hurricane season that we experience in our summertime, but it's actually wintertime.
Yeah, and you'll notice that as we get the pictures of these storms pulled up eventually, we are going to notice that it looks a little bit funny compared to what we are used to here. And that's because in the southern hemisphere, cyclones rotate in the opposite direction that they do here in the northern hemisphere.
Right, so they operate just like hurricanes do here in the northern hemisphere, but they are going to be turning clockwise in the southern hemisphere.
And you also might notice the change in nomenclature that we're using. It is not a typhoon because it is in the southern hemisphere, but it's also not a hurricane, and that is because it is run by the Indian Meteorological Office.
Right, so a couple of facts about Cyclone Batsarai right now. It does have sustained winds of 145 miles per hour, which is equivalent to a Category 4 hurricane.
Yeah, so just on the cusp of Category 5, they used a little bit of a different ranking system over there. This would be a severe tropical cyclone. It wouldn't necessarily have the Saffir-Simpson scale that we use here in the United States, but it is going to affect a ton of people on an island that is not necessarily the best in regards to infrastructure for hurricanes.
Correct. They have an estimated 3.6 million people to be affected, and keep in mind, this is the same strength hurricane as we saw hit Louisiana this summer here.
Yeah, and furthermore, apparently this island was just hit by a different cyclone named Anna, and this current one is expected to make landfall on February 4th.
Right, so hopefully we'll be praying for those in Madagascar that those rainfall totals do stay as low as possible.
Now for a look at the rain that's going to hit here tomorrow, hopefully it's not associated with the tropical cyclone that just comes out of nowhere. Allie-Ann's going to get us covered there.
Yeah, thankfully we do not have a tropical cyclone going on in the Tallahassee region, as it is not hurricane season, so we're not really worried about it. But what we are worried about are these storms that are going to come in tomorrow afternoon. So right now we do have these stratus clouds right now kind of associated with the front that's moving through. So we are going to have cloudy conditions. Right now in Tallahassee, it is warm, 70 degrees, mostly cloudy, with our winds coming up from the south at 14 miles per hour. So our radar right now, you do see those that front that is bringing all that rain across the southeast right now. But in the Panhandle, we aren't being affected right now currently, except for this area right here between Dothan and Mariana, which is Graceville, so they are getting some scattered showers. As for the upper level water vapor, you really see where that front is moving through, bringing all that moist air into our region or the southeast right now. But Tallahassee, Big Bend, really staying clear of that right now. Current temperatures here in Tallahassee and the rest of the Big Bend region, we are sitting really pretty here at 61 in Tallahassee. Up in Talismanville, we are the coolest temperature at 55. But as we move down, we are going to look at Apalachicola, oh my bad, which is sitting at 64. For the dew points, our dew point, oh, those were the dew points, my bad, I thought they were temperatures. Oh, well, our dew points are actually really close to the actual temperature right now, so we are going to see those muggy conditions as we are 61 in Tallahassee and 70 in actual temperature, so that it's going to create those really muggy feeling conditions. The future radar, this is really what we want to point out. We do have that marine fog off the coast of St. Mark's tomorrow morning, and then we're going to have isolated thunderstorms move in tomorrow evening, so bringing a lot of rain. So if you do go out tomorrow afternoon, make sure you have your umbrella. We are going to be pretty wet tomorrow afternoon. For the dog walk forecast, we have rain all day. So if you do have a doggy treadmill, this is the time to use it. We are going to see our temperatures in the 60s throughout the day. Going to get a little bit warmer to 67, but not much of a difference at 11 a.m. But rainy conditions all day tomorrow. As for our week ahead, we do have rain all day tomorrow, but as we move into the week, we are just going to have cloudy conditions, and those conditions are going to stay in the 50s throughout the rest of the week. As for now, I want Josh to talk about small towns and big towns with the same name.
Thanks, Allie-Ann. Yep, we're going to be zooming out a bit here with our segment that we like to call Big City, Small Towns. So let's see where we will be today. Today, we are in Nashville, Tennessee, the rock and roll city. Let's see what's going on over there right now in Nashville, Tennessee. It is raining right now. We have seen that large frontal system that's moving across the country, bringing a lot of rain to the Midwest right now. 36 here in Nashville. In the surrounding areas, we do have temperatures also in the mid-30s. Those are going to drop as we head into the evening hours. Here's that rain that's moving through Nashville right now. It has started to clear out. As you can see in the beginning, we had those reds and yellows. Those are larger precipitation totals, but now we're just seeing those greens, so it should start to move out of the Nashville area pretty soon here. Over the next 3 days, looking at the temperatures, we are going to say in the mid to upper 30s as our highs for tomorrow and Saturday. But as we head into Sunday, those temperatures are going to start to warm up. We're going to have a high of 51, but we're not out of the clear yet for cold weather. Saturday, the low is going to be 19. Got to grab those jackets still if you're in Nashville. But have you heard of Nashville, Ohio, Nashville, Tennessee's counterpart? We don't know what it's named after exactly, but I'm sure it has some very significant meaning because it has a whopping population of 197 with a total square mileage area of 0.08, something to keep an eye out for. So, moving up to the great state of Ohio. Nashville, Ohio, it is snowing there. So, just like in Nashville, Tennessee, we are seeing precipitation, but because the temperatures are so much colder, we are seeing snow in Nashville, Ohio. In their surrounding areas, we are seeing very similar temperatures in the mid to lower 20s. Here's all that snow right now on the radar, moving through the Nashville, Ohio area. As we head into tomorrow, these snowfalls are going to start to dissipate, but for now, we are still seeing pretty significant snow totals. Looking at all of these active alerts around Nashville, Ohio right now, they're under a winter storm advisory. A bit to the south, we do have an ice storm advisory because those temperatures are a bit warmer, so they're going to have ice accumulation on the ground. And a bit to the south, we do have some just normal storm advisories, no snow over there. Zooming into the Nashville area, here's those winter weather advisories, keeping the entire region under that snow watch over the next probably 12 to 24 hours. You can see we are going to have some more snow move through the area, but this is lighter snow that they've been seeing right now. And then we're just going to have cloudy conditions move through the area, and eventually they will start to clear out. For tonight in Nashville, we are still under a winter storm warning, 4 to 8 inches of snow expected. So tomorrow morning, you are going to have to get those shovels ready. Make sure you take your precautions when you're about to head to work to end out your week on Friday. Tonight's low will be 14 degrees, will be gusty with winds 14 to 17 miles per hour. Over the next 3 days in Nashville, we are going to see these temperatures start to warm up a bit during the daytime, but at the nighttime, we are going to see bitterly cold in these single digits. But luckily, that snowfall will start to clear out of the area. But for now, we're going to take things more nationally with Jonathan.
Yeah, so there's a joke in the weather studio that when it comes to the national, I'm usually the person that's going to get thrown on it. And today, I'm actually excited to do it because we have so much going on across the country right now with a frontal system draped from San Antonio through New Orleans all the way up to Boston, and that's going to produce a bunch of different forms of precipitation that's going to create some exciting weather for me to talk about. As we look at our dew points, notice there's a pocket of moisture trapped in the southeastern United States where it's going to be a little bit muggier, and those conditions are going to be primed for severe weather development. But the rest of the country, very bone cold, bitter, dry air. Minneapolis at -16, that's like you need chapstick as soon as you walk outside in that dry of air. Notice here on our upper level water vapor satellite, we have that cold front with the preceding dry air behind it, pardon me, that's draped across the country. Notice the convection where the thunderstorms are happening is a little bit ahead of that. Taking a look at our surface analysis map, notice western portion of the country, I'm not going to be talking about you much tonight because you are under a high pressure system that is going to create dry sinking air where you are. But as we head to the northeast, notice where that freezing gradient is right now, you're going to have a transition zone of precipitation, and that's what makes this system so different compared to some of the other ones. Where we have this transition zone, we are getting ice accumulations where it is colder at the surface than it is aloft. So when the rain is falling down, it's like partially melting, but then once it hits the ground, it freezes and just forms a layer of ice on everything. And so we are seeing that in a lot of areas down and west of the Appalachians. As we head into the northeast, however, winter weather advisories are up in effect for much of central Pennsylvania and the New York, southern Boston, southern New England areas. But this is where the weather is going to get really interesting as we head into the south central United States. We are forecasting right now for Houston for Weather Challenge, and the question is are they going to get any frozen precipitation that's going to mess up our precipitation forecast? And as of right now, it looks like the freezing rain is holding off a little bit, but your rain is still right there. As you head up your I-35 corridor into Oklahoma, some light snow showers there that's probably going to create a dusting for our peers at the University of Oklahoma. But then you move one state over onto I-40 into Arkansas and then into Memphis. That's where the most significant ice accumulations that I was just talking about are happening. Memphis, you could get up to ½ an inch of ice accumulated. That is treacherous driving conditions. Do not recommend you are on the interstate right now. Interestingly enough, we do have this winter storm warning for that ice stretched all the way up. But because the ice is going to be so significant in Memphis, they are under this purple color, which is an explicit winter ice storm warning with some local travel advisories noted right here in those bright blue outlines. I just spoke earlier about the severe weather in the southeast, so I'm not going to delve into that as much. I'm going to use this to talk about the winter weather, but there still are those advisories as well. As you head out west, some light snow over the Cascades up in Washington, but not much else going on elsewhere. That is due to that sinking dry air from the high pressure system. Not much alerts to happen here. Maybe some high wind warnings up in Billings, Montana, but other than that, the country is starting to clear out as the system pushes along. Down in the southeast again, we do have that slight risk of severe weather. That is going to be an isolated chance of a tornado, damaging winds, maybe some hail, but the wind shear from that low pressure system is enough to produce those tornadoes that we have been seeing. Day 3, things are really going to clear out as that low pressure system takes over, and temperatures are just going to continue to drop as we head into your weekend and into your Friday. Now zooming back in on Tallahassee to tell us more about how that rain is going to affect us, here's Josh.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Yes, here in Tallahassee, we do have a beautiful sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium with those cloudy skies on top right now. It's currently 70 degrees with a brisk wind coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour. Seeing what happened today on the almanac, today we did reach a high of 73 and a low of 55. It is around average. We were nowhere near our record low, which was 15. We were closer to that this past weekend when we hit 19. But here's a better look at the southeast. Here's all that rain is going to start coming into the Tallahassee region tomorrow midday to tomorrow afternoon, so keep an eye out for that. Here's all that snow up north in Arkansas, but luckily that's not going to push towards us because our temperatures are too warm. For right now, Florida is rain clear for the most part. Zooming in, we can see that cloud cover that's over Tallahassee that we saw on the Doak Campbell Stadium cam. We do have some pop-up showers that are going to start moving through areas like Chipley and eventually into the evening and afternoon tomorrow. We are going to see those move into our area. Right now, the dew points in Tallahassee are relatively higher because we do have that moist air that's just about to push into our area. 61 here in Tallahassee, not too far off from our current temps. A bit drier up in Thomasville at 55. Right now in Tallahassee, we are currently sitting at 70 degrees. Down here out on the coast, 67, a bit cooler in Apalachicola, but for the most part, Leon County and surrounding areas, we are sitting at the low to mid-70s. Current wind speeds are pretty high coming out of the south right now, 14 miles per hour here in Tallahassee. Same in Quincy, a bit towards the coast, we are seeing lower wind speeds. Over the next 24 hours, here's what we're going to have to keep an eye out for. Here's all those rainfall moving through. Tomorrow morning at around 10 o'clock, that's when you can start expecting those heavier showers to move through. As we move into the afternoon, expect much of the same thing. As we head evening, that's when those showers are going to start to drop a bit more. So as in terms of for Tallahassee is probably going to see around 1 to maybe 2 inches, depending on where those stronger land in the Tallahassee area is where we're going to see. But do expect probably around at least ½ an inch to an inch of rain. For tomorrow morning's dog walk forecast, it is going to be raining out, but those temperatures are going to be mild, so don't feel too afraid to go out there. Just make sure you bring a raincoat or an umbrella. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. we're going to see temperatures drop just a degree because of that sunrise actually. And as we head into the morning, afternoon hours at 11 a.m., it is going to be 67. For tomorrow, 9 to 3 p.m., we are going to still seeing rain, and more rain, but those temperatures are going to make their way up into the upper 60s, possibly hitting that 70-degree mark. Look at the week ahead. Tomorrow, expect rain because of that front moving through, but after that, we are going to start to dry up significantly with much milder temperatures in the mid-50s to start off our week next week with lows in the upper 40s. But for now, we're going to close off our show with Allie-Ann and Jonathan.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Allie-Ann, but if a day on the weekend rains, I would rather it be Friday than Saturday or Sunday.
Definitely, because I want to get out on Saturday, try to maybe go on a hike. So I'd take the happy hour rain forecast much over the Saturday going out.
Yeah, I'd rather not walk. I'd rather not walk from the parking garage to the Civic Center to catch the Redemption FSU basketball game in the rain. I'd rather it rain while I'm in class tomorrow, and then.
Oh, definitely. Rain during class is probably the best thing to ever happen to us, considering we are meteorology majors, so it's like, oh, we knew that was going to happen.
We can literally just pull up the map and talk about what's going on outside instead of whatever 3-page equation was laid out in front of us earlier.
Or coding earlier.
Yeah. But anyways, we may be singing Rain, Rain, Go Away, Come Again Another Day tomorrow, but thankfully the forecast is going to dry out behind this rain tomorrow.
It is going to dry out, but however, we are going to see a lot of cloud cover continuing into next week. Those temperatures are going to drop into the lower 60s, so we might have nicer temperatures next week, but those clouds are still going to keep us a little cool.
Yeah, and then with those clouds tomorrow and the rain tomorrow, there's going to be a cold front associated with that, which means temperatures are going to be a little bit chillier. For I know we're all yearning for spring, but if you want to learn more about when spring's coming, follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And you can also like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And you're probably watching us live right now on YouTube with our YouTube channel, same username, FSU Weather.
And then go ahead and give us a follow on FSU Weather on Instagram. And send us your pictures of sunsets, whatever you want, we'll post them.
Yeah, if you're outside in your rain boots trying to get a rain gauge to measure how much rain we're going to get tomorrow, we'll see. Closest to our forecast wins.
That'd be a good competition. As for now, I am student meteorologist Allie-Ann McCord.
And I'm Jonathan Marcus. Have a great evening.